Okay, hello, I'm back again. Trying to adjust this mic, hope it's not crackling and things on you. But we're going to do something a little different here. This will be a two-parter. I've got some acrylic paint out. And when I use acrylic, I like the heavy bodied and I like to expend a little bit of money, but cheap acrylic would work for this, what I'm going to do here. I'll also have a handy dandy coffee mug and to keep my water in. It looks pretty nasty, but it works. Just don't drink out of it. Alright, so I'm going to mix up some color, a tree color, a greenish color, a foresty color, and cover up a good section of this canvas. This is really, just take a couple minutes, and this will be, we won't do a two-part video, but this will be at the first part of the video that you're watching. So yeah, I can tell the future also, not just paint. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so I mixed up a little bit of color here. I've got an old fan brush that I've just kind of turned into an acrylic brush. I don't really have any brushes, they're just acrylic. But, I mean, I'm just literally going to block in. That may not be dark enough. And I don't care that it's rough. I could put a little water in here to help extend that paint a little bit. Put a little water up here on the canvas even. Like this. Waited a little bit, it'll help the paint move around. Like, what is this mess that he's making here? It's maybe what it is. I'm thinking the scene that I've got in my head kind of is at least starts here and kind of something like that, a valley scene or something. Maybe a little bit higher. You can sketch these out if you want. But I'm literally just going to put some green on here. Not everywhere. I mean, not like this everywhere. I think someone had a good idea about putting a clamp here on my canvas, and I'm going to do that. I don't know who it was, but thank you. That's actually a pretty good idea. I'm going to just throw some tree shapes as I'm painting just for practice. Look at that. I want a forest scene, but I don't want a lot of, what am I trying to say, a lot of depth. I want it to be like we're right in it. So what I did was mix some blue and some satin green acrylic and some black. And that's pretty much the color here. I forget the blue I used. Might have been cerulean blue. I could not find any other blue in my acrylic paint. Now, this will get oil all over it, so it really doesn't matter. You could just do black gesso. Same thing. I may actually grab some ivory black and throw it in here at the bottom. Pretty much pure black. Yeah, I got a message. Yeah, there we go. Just really dark down here. And again, maybe a little water to help. I'm not an acrylic painter, so it takes me a little bit of time just to kind of think through. And if I was an acrylic painter, I might have some bigger brushes that would do this quicker. But it's what I want. This is kind of working. And again, I'm using that heavy-bodied acrylic. I don't know that matters for what I'm doing. I said you could probably just put black gesso down here for the most part. Just scrubbing in some color is all that I'm really trying to do here. So most of this will be oil paint and we're done. Oh yeah, and up in there some trees and things. It's a mess, isn't it? Goodness. Goodness sakes. Just trying to fill up this bottom. Maybe I'll speed through this. You guys might not get to hear me speak. This is pretty easy to do here. Got a big old bunch of paint out over here. I don't know why I had so much. I am really, this time for real, considering doing a palette cam. I never thought I would need to, but people keep complaining. Not really complaining, that's the wrong word. Well, some people are complaining. I will remind you that it's pretty low low rent district here. I don't charge anything for these, thankfully. I don't know who would want to pay for my stuff, but it is kind of what it is. Just bring these up a little bit. Just kind of wiggle back and forth some stuff in here. Look at that. There we go. This is still wet. This is this heavy bodied apparently doesn't dry as fast as the cheap acrylics. I don't have an extender in here. It's also the water on there is keeping it a little wet. Alright, let's paint some actual trees now. We'll just use whatever color we want. Like I said, I want this to be a very, very in your face kind of scene. Acrylic works pretty much the same. This heavy bodied acrylic feels about the same, honestly, as some oil paint. So I'm just going to paint some trees here for the next few minutes. Leave the camera running. I may ramble off some craziness. And then down the line, I'll actually do this in oil. I've got an idea that may work out pretty good. It may look awful too. So who really knows? Just kind of, if you haven't guessed yet, if you haven't figured it out, I guess I should say, I like trees. Got a little soft nylon acrylic brush here. I might try to make a little nicer top there. Maybe over here there. I don't know. Are they sparser? Remember, some of this will get hidden with the oil paint. Want some loose trees in here. Yes, some trees, different kinds, different shapes, just like in nature. Oh, that's a big branch on that one. Again, we'll kind of cover up the ones we don't like. We need some bare ones over here, maybe. And these will probably get painted in oil too, so. Using a lot of that black. A lot of that black. You can even just kind of paint them like this with the acrylic. Just kind of smear the stuff on here. See that, and you kind of have a shape of a tree. Not necessary to kind of be fancy. Very green, isn't it? Very green. You know me, I like green. There may be some rocks in here, I don't know. Kind of go back and forth. Back and forth. Still doing pretty much like old Bob would do trees, but Bob would have already had the painting finished, you know. If I had an old filbert back here, I'd use a filbert for one of these. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this little nylon brush or whatever it is. Synthetic of some sorts. A little water on here. Watch this thing go to work. This will give me my nice tops out of here that I've been wanting in my old Ross brush wooden, because it's natural hairs, doesn't like water, all that good stuff. Where are we going with this? Up here maybe. Look, that one's dry, so I can go right over it and just kind of put stuff behind it even. Change your mind with this. It's a good thing about acrylic, I guess. It dries, you just cover it right up. You know the rule here. If you see this painting, it must have turned out okay. If you're seeing this video. didn't, it'd be like, well, I guess you'd be in the dark because you wouldn't know anyway. Kind of fill in some of that a little bit. Yeah, that's starting to look like something. And I'm not worried about these streaks. Again, this gets oil paint over it, but we can, maybe there's something we can do. Maybe there's a little path. I've been big on paths lately. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have a path in it or not. You know, just kind of laying it out in case I want it. You can kind of see it there, can't you? Kind of going right back through those trees. Maybe it'll be water. Who knows? And better yet, who cares? Right? Oh, here's a big one. Watch this. I really got an idea up here that I want to work on. Oh, we're using the whole brush. I want that filled in. I don't want to even see those trees, really. Actually, I think I'm going to cut those out. I'm going to take a saw here in a minute. Maybe let's use some black here. Use some black. What if? Watch this. That's where like I said, I had an idea, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. That's pretty much about anything that I do. I have an idea and I change it. I'm going to block this in just a little bit. Kind of like a big rock. Get more paint out, I know that. Run out of black. I don't want to see, and I can shake this rock however I want it to kind of run down through here. If you're watching this, you're like, where is he going with this? I don't know. Doesn't know where I'm going. Not yet, at least. That should work fine. Doesn't have to be filled in completely. Now, I'm going to do that. Sit on there. Well, that actually helps. I just didn't have it pushed in there. There we go. So there will be trees here. You can bring those out in oil. But there may be, just a little hint, there may be a sneak little waterfall right here. Don't know exactly how I'll let it fall right there, maybe. Here, we can go ahead and do it. How far does it go down? What does it do when it gets down there? I have no clue. Do we see much of it right there? No. Is it that big? I mean, where's it going? Is it behind the trees and the water's behind the trees? We're walking our path to get to that water. That's what I have in my mind right now. It's kind of like that tree painting from last night, or the previous painting that's on this channel, that I had no clue where I was going with it. Kept changing it as I went. So I'm sure that's what I'll do here too. We can just kind of work some trees and stuff back in here. This is just their background. Lots of little tops there, topsy-turvy things there. Who knows? Put another one right here. Wish I had an old oval brush. I was really liking those oval trees that I made in that video last night. want there to be some that kind of live on this cliff. Oh, that's kind of weird. Let's just fill this up. We'll kind of pull things out of here. Deep in the forest now, what we want to do here is make sure and not let these get too dark. So they could be very faint. Use whatever paint is on your brush. Just kind of smacking down. Indications of some things. Making sure to really kind of push in some dark at the base of these. Just kind of like that. Covering up trees I made that I like. That's okay. Yeah. That's starting to pop. We got 3 colors here. Blue, black, and green. You know me, I like simple palettes. Probably because I don't know color theory very well. While I'm thinking about it, grab you a color wheel if you're just starting to paint. It's the best thing you can invest in. You may look at a painting and say, man, that looks good, but it just looks off. It may be the colors you're using for your palette for that painting. The best investment you'll make. I know some people are not big on using them, but you should. Things like that pay big dividends in the end. That's what makes an artist, really. Some people have a natural eye, and then some of us need that color wheel. I think even artists kind of refer to that sometimes. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. I make things up. Yeah, nice forest scene. What I want to do, I got some right here. There's a touch of white in this. Touch. Just kind of brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, you're not going to notice this, but there's just some lighter color back in here. Just to kind of haze that out. There. And then I probably want some. It's too much. Too much. Too much. I want this to be. I don't care for this brush. Definitely not an oil brush. Let's just kind of wiggle some stuff in here. There's a bigger one back here in the background. It's light. A little lighter. There we go. Oh, I don't know. Some of these need some detail, but not all of them. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of taking the brush and pushing down on it. See, like this one is a little. I like it being back there, but you could use just a little bit of detail on it. Occasionally. The white works well for that background. I'm going to bring these back out a little bit. Spending way too long on this step. Remember, these don't need to be perfect. These will be trees that you won't even see probably at the end of the day. And I want to lighten these up. Go wiggle in some of this white here. Back in here. See that? I don't mess around with acrylics enough. I think this has good benefits. I could teach myself a lot using it. Especially for layering stuff like this. This is kind of one of those areas that would probably be pay big dividends. There we go. Okay. And just put some of that in here. I want, again, like I said, around this area. Let's grab a little more. Getting a little dry. I might have to. I know I've got my clip there somewhere, but I want to, and I'll bring that out with oil. Again, I'll kind of trace that out with oil. And see where we get to here. May just do a whole painting in acrylic. I don't know. Some more white back in there. It's really working well to kind of push everything back, or bring the foreground forward and the background back, right? There we go. Just kind of put that in there. Let that be. That's, you know, just like that. Just put it in there. I don't know if it's missed. I don't know what it is yet. There. There's one I don't like, and I bet you can see it. That one right there. Let's just give it a little bit. Look at that. Just smear it in there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take some water because it's getting dry here on me. Get some black paint out. Bring some of these back out that we covered. Like this one. Again, just kind of put some dark back in here. Not dark enough. A little bit more black. This acrylic paint's pretty fun. I never play with it. Unless I'm just using gesso. I mean, I could have used gesso for this, but the green is going to give me a little bit of a nice color. I probably will use liquid clear, but I may mix liquid clear and liquid white and see what happens with that. I've done that before and it looked pretty good. Bring one all the way down here. I'm not really that worried about what they look like right now. I'll just change them with the oil paint. And just put some of that dark back in here. Some of these in front of that. I do think if I've got a cliff in here, that little waterfall just comes off, and back in there's the water. There's a river or something. And maybe it will just be all trees and we'll be happy with it. If it's all trees, who cares? But we'll figure something out as we go along. And I'm speaking too soft, I can tell that. Hopefully the new mic will pick up a little bit better when I trail off like that. That doesn't look like much of anything. I need to clean this brush. I'm just getting lazy. Big old tree there. I'll have a few in here, of course. These will all come out and be big trees once we start working on it. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. I don't like that color. I'm getting gray down in here. I don't want that. The white and the black. So let's stop there. I can't stop there. Can't. I've got another green here that I really like. Let's see, deep green permanent. Pretty color. I've used it before on another painting I did. It's similar to me to almost, let's see, what would it be similar to? Phthalo green. Very close to phthalo green, just from looking at it. Just want to add a little something here. It's a blue green. I always tell people in class I do not like sap green because it's yellowy. I'm not a big yellow fan. Other than like yellow flowers, I just don't like yellow. Yeah, I like this blue-green. Smack a little bit on here. I don't like how that was looking. I don't need it. We can cover it later. But I wanted a little better tree there. I also like these touches of blue in here. Just kind of throw them in here. Just throw them in here for a little bit of variation. And this is dry over here, but it's still a little bit movable. Not much, a little bit. It's pretty dry. But if I needed to, I could probably paint right over it. It'd be fine. Yeah, just a little something there. Add a little bit of it in here. Add a little bit over that black. I don't know. I don't know if y'all can even see this. But this is I'm starting to feel like I'm getting it. I'm starting to feel like it's coming together a little bit. I'm going to put some blue-green over here and probably be done. Maybe a little more black over here. And we can darken it with oils. Yeah. Okay. Step back, look at it. Okay. Still not done. I thought this would be like a 10-minute thing. I grabbed me a couple of different brushes here. One is a script liner, one's a filbert. You know my affinity for filbert brushes. Let's see what we can do here with it. A little bit more paint. A little more green now. This is sap green permanent, a little bit of the other green, a little bit of blue. I'm turning away from the camera or the microphone here, but not doing anything super important. Now, you know I like filberts. What can we do with this old filbert? We can do this. We can find our little cliff right here. We know cliff can be a little darker right in there. That water is just going to spill off of it. And maybe hit here. I'll have to play with that when I get to painting it. But yeah, there's a cliff there. A little, I don't know if that'll be a jut or what. Yeah, there. This is a good brush to shape this thing with. Another little, and that's when this kind of comes in like that. Who knows? I can change that. Not that concerned with that. That looks a little odd actually. What I want to do here is try to bring this tree out a little bit more. A bit darker here. Make sure that this one is in front. There, that. Now see, that's a tree. That looks way better. I like that fan brush I was using. Don't be afraid. Just stop and get a different brush. And this acrylic paint, you can move it a little bit differently than oil. At least what I'm using here. You can just kind of whatever. And then we can, let's have one more right here. You know, I'm probably going to decide I don't need a waterfall. Like that. A little bit different. A little bit different. Get cord in case anybody wants to watch this mess. I've decided for the rest of 2021 and going forward to 2022, if I'm sitting down to make a video or sitting down to paint, I'm just going to turn the camera on. It may be crazy. You may be like, why am I watching this? This is looking awful. This is one of those examples. It may turn out horrendous when we're done with it. But yeah, I'm loving that. Different tones back there. We'll have a light, probably do like a greenish color in the sky even. A little yellow green. And we're going to have rocks. Like we'll have some rocks down in here. It's a good thing to sketch some things out. Hey, I got another message. There's a big rock. And what you don't like here, what do? You cover it up. There's another rock. I don't know if you can see those, but they're there. And they're just acrylic paint. You can paint right over them. Some rocks in here maybe. Okay. Our path and a bunch of trees. I mean, you know right now I'm going to have a tree that's probably like this, and it just sits over here. It's all kinds of stuff here. And then we may have one right next to it. Almost as big. Yeah, we'll just lock it in a little bit. I might see those brush strokes when I start painting. But for now, I think we're in good shape. You want to change one thing. I'm going to go ahead and just see what this looks like. Where's that water even coming from? Back in here, I guess. A little cliff. There's that. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Hear the thunder? And the thunder rolls, you know. You don't see that even? This is kind of telling me where the water is going to fall. It's falling that rock. It's behind these trees. So there'll be a tree that probably goes through some of that. Push it back. It's back in there. Unless, shoot, I mean, I could. What if it just runs from behind these trees? There we go. We're already changing the painting. And this is a stream. I am liking this. Oh my. Look at that. We just found it. We just found the painting. I wish I was a real artist, because this would make more sense, I think. I don't think I want that much water, really. I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Kind of go out right there. I know I don't want that much water right in here, so we'll just cover this back up. This is all going to be land in here, for sure. Black out. Just want to see that water. Yeah. So it's spilling off of there. I'm doing this with almost no water in this paint, and it's still moving. It's really cool. So we'll hide the origin spot, which is here. We'll paint it. Kind of let's try to have more than one waterfall today. It spills there. Yeah, I won't make it too light because it'll be hard to get it dark with oil. And there'll be some little splashes and stuff that's happening back there eventually. Yeah, I think I'm and we'll call it, guys. I may put a couple more trees on here, no point in making the video longer than it needs to be. I'm throwing some of that blue in there that I like. Let's stop there, and you'll see it when we start working on it in oil. Alright, starting to come together a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the way that river flows, or that pond, or whatever. That'll work. That'll work pretty good. Alright, take care, guys.